A great day to one and all. Welcome to the Fast Trips. I am Mr. Kim JC Ensho and I will be your discussant for tonight. Before we start our Fast Drills po, let us all be reminded that we are in the most holy presence of God. Lord God, Heavenly King, Father and Lord, we worship, praise, adore, glorify, and love you. We are sorry for all of our sins, and we are very thankful for all of the grace and blessings that you have continuously given us, most especially for the gift of life, family, and friends. We are hoping and praying that as we have the fast drills tonight, may you continually bless us and guide us, Lord God, so that we will be able to learn and hopefully be fully and be thoroughly prepared for the licensure examination for teachers. And we are hoping and praying that you will bless all of our reviewees. I'm hoping and praying, Lord God, that hopefully they will top or at least pass the licensure examination for teachers. For everything that we are doing is not only for ourselves, but above all for the manifestation of your glory. All of this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, magandang araw po o gabi rather sa ating lahat, no? Depending on wherever you are in the world. And this time, we will have fast drills. So the licensure examination for teachers will be next week na po. And this time, my part is to have fast drills with you for March 2024 licensure examination for teachers, particularly for mathematics majors. So ano po ang mangyayari tonight? What will happen po is I will flash out the questions. And these multiple choice questions have only two choices. It's either A or B. So you will comment A or B. I will give you only a few moments, no? And upon seeing the question, as much as possible, give your answer directly po sana, no? Because this one is fast drills. So upon seeing the question, what answer comes into mind po, no? As much as possible. So take note po ha, pag-flash ko po ng question o habang binabasa ko ito, ibigay po ninyo ang sagot ninyo. Okay? Are we ready? I hope. And let's start these fast drills with question number 1. For mutually exclusive events A and B, what do you call the formula? The probability of A union B equals the probability of A added by the probability of B. Is it what we call the addition rule or is it the general rule? Please comment A or B po sa ating chat. Okay. May sumagot ng marami sa inyong sumagot ng letter A, addition rule. And if you answered letter A, addition rule, you are actually correct, no? So in this case po, if you have this formula, probability of A union B equals probability of A plus probability of B, you are actually pegging that the intersection here is empty. So the correct answer po is the addition rule. In fact, the general rule is the probability of A union B equals the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of their intersection. So if you answered letter A, great start po. Good job. Take note po ha, mabilisan po ito. Number 2. A subset of the sample space is called blank. Is it A, discrete variable, or B, event? A or B? Okay, marami pong sumagot ng letter B na event. Meron din kakaunting sumagot ng A at ang tamang sagot po ay dan. It is actually letter B, event po. No? So when we say subspace of your when we say subset of your sample space, it's a possibility, no? Yung a portion lamang ng inyong sample space. So it's what we call event. Kapag sinabi naman po nating discrete variable, these are variables whose value is obtained by counting o yung pwede nating mabilang. Okay? Yung kinakount natin. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So letter B for number 2. Okay. Number 3, the given multiplication table represents a cyclic group. Find the order of the group. Is it 2 or is it 4? Okay, so tingnan niyo po. Tingnan niyo pong mabuti yung table ha. Order ba nito is 2 or order nito is 4? Okay. I can see many B na sagot. And if your answer is B, tan 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 tan, you are actually correct. So you could actually see po, no, that meron po tayong apat na elements dyan, no? A, B, C, D. So that could be a reason as well. Pwede ring uh, A operated with A becomes C. A operated with C becomes D. Ikalawa, A operated with D becomes B, and A operated with B becomes A. Apat na beses mo siyang inoperate bago siya bumalik sa element sa kanyang sarili. So here, this is actually letter B. So the order is 4. Yes po, don't worry. No? All files are actually posted po sa ating group page. So no worries po. Number 3, boy. Number 4, when a logarithm is expressed as an integer plus a decimal, the decimal part is called is it A, mantissa, or is it B, characteristic? Okay? Maraming ang sumagot ng letter A, pero meron din namang kakaunting sumagot ng letter B. And ang tamang sagot po ay, tandaan po natin, no? Para hindi po tayo malito sa problem na to, remember centimeter, cm. Characteristic, mantissa. The characteristic po is tinatawag nating whole number part o ito yung number na nasa left ng decimal point. Samantalang yung mantissa naman po is actually the non-negative decimal part which is actually found at the right o nasa kanan ng ating decimal point. So ang tamang sagot po ay letter A. Okay. Padayon. Good job po, no? Hoping that's hope po. Let's hope po. Number 5. The logarithm of the product of two numbers is equal to the blank of the logarithms of the factors. Is it sum or is it the product? Our answer is A. Yes po, padayon para sa kaugmaon. If you answered A, sum, you are actually correct. It's actually a property of logarithms po that the logarithm of xy base b is equal to the logarithm of x base b plus the logarithm of y base b. That's why the logarithm of the product to a certain base is equal to the sum of the factors to that certain base. Meron din po tayong the logarithm of x over y base b. If you are dividing naman po, you are actually subtracting their logarithms. And the logarithm of x raised to n base b, if you are raising this to a certain exponent, no? So the exponent could be copied and becomes the, let's say, the constant or the coefficient that's placed up front. So it's this expression is equivalent po sa n logarithm of x base b, letter A. Okay. Next number. The figure shows, take a look at this figure po. Does it show perfect positive correlation or does it show positive correlation? A or B? Okay, may mga sumagot ng letter A, may sumagot din po ng letter B. So perfect positive ba? O perfect o positive lamang? At ang tamang sagot po ay tan 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 tan, letter B. Positive correlation lang po. Bakit positive siya at hindi perfect positive? Kapag sinabi po nating perfect positive correlation, lahat po ng points ay dapat makikita mo sa line na to. A positive correlation, by the way, means no that the line of best fit, for example, is rising to the right. Negative correlation po yan kapag if it's falling to the right. So anyway, it's rising to the right naman. Perfect positive correlation implies na lahat ng points na to ay dapat makikita sa line mismo. Pero kapag magkalapit naman sila, no, at they are all rising to the right, and all of them are not falling o hindi sila makikita sa line itself, then it's only a positive correlation but not perfect. Tandaan po ha, Kung lahat nasa line, perfect positive. Pero kung lahat hindi naman talaga nasa line, positive lang po yan. Letter B. Kasi dikit-dikit. My point, no? Okay. Number 7. To express that there is a significant difference between the income of family A and that of the income of family B, which of the following should be used? Again, so significant difference is already an alternative hypothesis, which is HA. Is it HA? X sub 1 is not equal to X sub 2? Or H of A is, which is your X sub 1 is equal to X sub 2? Grabe kayo. Sumagot kayo ng letter A, and dahil sumagot kayo ng A, AD, tingnan natin. Ang null hypothesis po natin ay HO, and there's no significant difference usually, no, sa mga thesis natin. So usually, if you have your null hypothesis, you are sticking with the present data or with the status quo. Samantalang your alternative hypothesis naman, halimbawa, rejects kung ano yung present and would suggest something, no, that is not suggested by your, that otherwise, which it suggests something that is contrary to what your null hypothesis is saying. So usually with significant difference. So take note po. So ito ay HA. At dahil merong significant difference yung dalawa, dapat hindi equal yung dalawang means. Hence, the correct answer is letter A. X sub 1 is not equal to X sub 2. Yes, if there is no null po yan usually. Number 8. What type of sequence is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on? Ito ba ay arithmetic o geometric? Grabe kayo. Marami sa inyo ang sumagot ng letter A, ng letter B, meron din sumagot ng letter A. And take note, ano bang pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Ang tamang sagot po muna, no, is letter B, geometric. Kapag sinabi po nating arithmetic sequence, you are actually adding by a constant term. Halimbawa, plus 5 ka all throughout. For example, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and so on. Yung geometric naman po, nagmumultiply ka ng isang constant. For example, in this case, 1 times 2, 2. Times 2, 4. Times 2, 8. Times 2, 16, and so on. So clearly, dito, you are multiplying. So this one is geometric. So it's letter B. Yung arithmetic sequence po ay merong common difference. Samantalang yung geometric sequence naman po ay merong common ratio. So letter B po ang tamang sagot. Number 9. He was a 16th century mathematician who was the first to define that the probability of event to happen is the quotient of the number of the favorable outcomes and the number of all outcomes. Who was he? Is it A, Stephen Baldwin? Or is it B, Gerolamo Cardano? Grabe! Maraming sumagot ng B. And if you answered B, be happy kasi tama po kayo. No? Stephen Baldwin is actually an American actor, and it is Gerolamo Cardano who defined, who gave us the definition of classical probability. That is, the probability of an event to happen is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes. So far, so good. And I'm hoping po, that you are keeping track of your score po, ha? I hope, please keep track po of your score kung ilan pong nakuha ninyo out of 100. Kasi I'll be giving you 100 hopefully po, or kung hindi po natin makayang maubos, so kung ano lang po yung kaya. Okay? Hopefully, you could get at least 50 or half out of 100. But of course, if you will get more than half, the better po. Okay? Number 10. The surface on the Earth between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle is called, is it A, plain, or is it B, zone? Okay, so far, so good. Wow, may naka 8/9 so far. Tingnan po natin. And wow, grabe. Zone po yung sagot ng karamihan. Yes po, hoping and praying po. Uh, si Teacher Matibay. Many of you answered B. If you answered B, tingnan natin. When we say plane, it is actually a flat surface, no? Halimbawa po ng surface ng flat ng table, yung flat na pader natin, so that's a plane. And when we speak about zone, it is any five of the great divisions of the Earth's surface with respect to latitude and temperature. So if you answered letter B, congratulations, kayo na. Hello, top-notchers! Sana all. Let's claim po. Number 11. Find the cofactor of A sub 33 in this particular matrix. 848, 115, 3, negative 1, 4. Did you go for negative 4 or did you go for B, 4? Yes, why not po? Go ahead po. We love that you will be part of the company po, no? Okay? B daw. Check po natin. Now, when we speak about cofactor of A sub 33, no? Ang technique po dito is, unang-una, the first three here sa subscript means the third row. Ang second three po dito is the column. So what we're going to do is erase po the third row and all the numbers in the third column. So yung matitira, no, kapag in-erase ko to, yung third row at saka third column, yung matitira po ay itong apat na lang na 8411. And to get the cofactor of Aij, it's actually equal to negative 1 raised to I plus j multiplied by the determinant of A. Take note po ha, kapag sinabi po natin Aij, I represents the row and j represents the column. So with such, when we speak about the cofactor of A sub 33, I here is 3 and j is 3. That's why this becomes negative 1 raised to 3 plus 3. And the determinant of ito po. Dahil in-erase po natin ang third row at saka third column. And negative 1 raised to 6 po ito, no? Ito naman po, to get the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, multiply po yung pababa. 8 times 1, that's 8. Minus, isubtract mo yung product ng pataas. 1 times 4, which is 4. So negative 1 raised to 6 is 1. This is 8 minus 4, which is 4. And 1 times 4 gives you 4. So if you answered letter A, naps, congratulations. Tama po kayo. But if not, it's still okay, no? It's a learning experience po sa ating lahat. Number 12. Which is true for subgroups of a group? Okay, abstract algebra naman po tayo. Which is true of the subgroups of a group? Is it A, subgroups form a partition of a group? B, the intersection of two groups is also a group. Did you go for A or did you go for B? What do you think? Okay. Hati po tayo, no? May mga sumagot ng B, may namang sumagot ng A. And the correct answer is tan 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 tan. Letter B po. Letter B. Okay? You might be asking, bakit kaya letter B ang sagot? Tandaan po natin, hindi po siya nagpo-form ng partition yung subgroups. Kasi when we say partition, wala pong common element yung subgroups. Yun yung sinasabi niya. But this is not true. Subgroups have a common element, have at least one common element. And that common element, and that the identity element po ha, is always a common element. Again po, the identity element is always a common element of all the subgroups of a certain group. And that's why, but don't worry, no, it is actually a theorem na kapag kinuha mo yung intersection ng subgroups, group din po yung kanilang result. because they satisfy the core properties of a group, namely closure, associativity, existence of an identity element, and the inverse property po. Okay? Okay, push po natin ito. Yes, I like yung tantananan. Number 13. List the four smallest elements of the set Y such that Y is equal to 2x plus 1, where x is an element of natural numbers. Did you go for 3, 5, 7, 9? 1, 3, 5, 7. Yes. In my case po, no, while waiting, I am an Ilonggo po, no? Yes. All right. Marami pong sumagot ng letter A. 3, 5, 7, 9. Tama nga kaya ang letter A. And you are... Tan, 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 tan. To get the... Take note po, sabi niya, first four elements. And remember, the first four smallest element of natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Di po ba? So yung gagawin po natin dito is simple lang. Yung gagawin natin is, substitute po natin muna ang x by 1. So 2 times 1 plus 1 will give you 3. Meaning 3 po ang first element ng set na to. 2 naman yung next. So 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5. Sunod is 3 times 2. 2 times 3 plus 1, which is 7. And lastly, 2 times 4 plus 1, which is 9. So ang tamang sagot po ay 3, 5, 7, 9, yung first four elements niya, and that has to be letter B. Letter A, I mean. Okay, so far, so good. Ay, very good po. It's okay lang po, no? So, tandaan po ha, if we are talking about sequence, no? The first four smallest elements, so syempre po, you have to let or replace the variable by 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, kasi your domain is also the set of natural numbers. Kung nagsabi sana siya na whole numbers, siguro pwede siyang mag-start sa 0. So, meaning your first term will be 1. Number 14, factor over the integers by grouping. 3x cubed plus x squared plus 6x plus 2. Is it 3x plus 1 times x squared plus 2? Or is it 3x minus 1 times x squared plus 2? Letter A daw ang sabi ng madlang people. Letter A din kaya ang sagot ng lahat? And if you answered letter A, you are actually... Tama po kayo. So, in this case po, no, group ko muna yung first two. And the greatest common factor po ng 3x cubed at saka x squared ay x squared. At saka, so pinactor out ko, 3x cubed divided by x squared is 3x. X squared divided by x squared is, yeah, you have your plus 1 here. And for the 6x plus 2 naman po, yung kanilang greatest common factor ay 2. So, pinactor out ko yung 2. 6x divided by 2 is 3x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And since 3x plus 1 is a common factor between these two binomials, so you factor out the 3x plus 1. This divided by 3x plus 1 is x squared. And this divided by 3x plus 1 is 2. That's why 3x plus 1 times the quantity x squared plus 2. And so far, I'm happy with the results. Many of you got it right. Letter A. Number 15. Use the absolute value notation to describe the given situation. The distance between x and 3. Did you go for absolute value of x minus 3? Or did you go for the absolute value of x plus 3? Chan-charadam! Letter A daw, ang sabi ni teacher Matibay. Chan-charadam-dan-dan. And if you answer letter A, tan-tan-dan-dan-dan, you are actually correct. Bakit po? Because if you have a number line, no, the distance of two distinct numbers in the number line, the distance d between a and b in the number line is actually d is equal to the absolute value of the quantity A minus B. So all you have to do is subtract, no? The distance between them is just the absolute value of the difference between the two numbers. So if the first number is x and the second number is 3, so it's the distance between them is d equals the absolute value of the quantity x minus 3. And that's letter A. So congratulations to Chan Chan Dan 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 and to the rest who answered letter A as well. Number 16. Who invented linear programming? Is it A, George Danzig, or is it B, Richard Dedekind? Please comment. Grabe. Marami sumagot ng letter A na George Danzig. And if you answered letter A, you have to be happy because that is actually correct. So George Danzig is actually a professor from Stanford po, and he was able to invent linear programming now. And Richard Dedekind naman po is best known for his contribution as the definition of a real numbers through the notion of a Dedekind cut. Ay, grabe siya. Number 17. Who is considered as the greatest might have been in mathematics? Is it Cavalieri, or is it B, Pascal? Grabe kayo, letter B agad. Walang patumpik-tumpik, letter B, pagkakita agad. And if you answered letter B, tama nga kaya si Pascal. And if you answered Pascal, you are actually correct. Very good. Antonio Cavalieri is an Italian mathematician who developed a method of indivisibles, which became a factor in the development of the integral calculus. And it's actually Blaise Pascal po, no? The greatest might have been in mathematics. Grabe siya dahil majority. Number 18, who wrote Ars Magna? Is it A, Cardano, or is it B, Pascal? Is it A, Gerolamo Cardano, or is it B, Blaise Pascal? Tingnan nga natin. Okay, many of you answered letter A. Yes po, feel free to eat your dinner habang sumasagot. Napili na daw yung B kanina, so A na sila. If you answered letter A, congratulations, no? So Ars Magna, or the Rules of Algebra, was written by Girolamo Cardano. It is published in 1545. It is often considered the start of a comprehensive theory for solving algebraic equations. It was actually in the 10th in a series of volumes Cardano wrote for a work he called Opus Perfectum, or the perfect work. Letter A. Ay, grabe nung opera. Grabe siya. Number 9. He is regarded as the prince of mathematicians. Is it Newton or Gauss? Grabe niyo, bilis niyo. Letter B. If you answered B, you are actually correct po. Johann Carl Friedrich Gauss was a German mathematician and physicist who made significant contributions to many fields and in mathematics and science. We also attribute to him the fundamental theorem of algebra, no? And he is the prince of mathematics. Galing. 20. Oh, great job po. Naalala natin. Good job. The number of vertices B, edges E, and faces F of a polyhedra is linked by the equation B minus E plus F equals 2. This formula is attributed to, is it A, Euler, or is it B, Gauss? Okay, many of you answered Euler. If you answered Euler, naku po, tama po kayo ulit. This theorem involves Leonard Euler's polyhedral formula, sometimes called Euler's formula. Today, we would state this result as the number of edges, vertices B, faces F, and edges E in a convex three-dimensional polyhedron satisfy the V plus F minus E equals 2. That is, the number of vertices plus number of faces subtracted by the number of edges is always equal to 2 po, no? So that is actually now attributed to Leonard Euler. In fact, this equation is one of the most beautiful equations of all time, if I am not mistaken. 21. Who invented calculus? 1. Leibniz. 2. Newton. Is it A, 1 only? B, 1 and 2? Kaya po yan, Teacher Amy, kaya po yan, ha? Kaya po nating sumabay. Kaya po yan. Yung PC7. Letter Letter B daw, 25. If you answered letter B, no 1 and 2, you are actually correct. In fact, no, both Sir Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz, no, were attributed with the invention of calculus. They independently invented calculus. So letter B. It so happened po na mas nauna ata si Newton, but it so happened na mas naunang nakapublish si Leibniz, no? Kay Newton kasi parang dinelay niya muna. So letter B po ang tamang sagot. Okay. Ay, grabe siya. Next, if a matrix has a zero row or column, then its determinant is it A, 0, or B, 1? Ay, grabe siya. Okay, grabe. Letter A daw, 0. If you answered 0, tandaan po natin, you are actually correct. So it is actually a theorem po no, na kapag meron ka pong matrix, na kapag yung isang buong row ay puro 0, o may isang column na lahat ay 0 po, wag na po kayong mag-compute ng determinant kasi sure na 0 na po yan talaga. That's for sure. Letter A. 27. Considering the Cayley table of the Klein 4 group, tingnan niyo po, tingnan mabuti yung Klein 4 group na to. What is A star B? Is it A or is it A or B, C? Many of you answered letter A. I mean letter B, pero meron din pong sumagot ng letter A, no? Ay, grabe. Tumpak na choice. And kapag sinabi po nating A cross B sa palagay na to, no, the correct answer actually is letter B, C. Bakit po? Kapag ito po si A, ito si A, ito si B, kunin niyo po yung intersection niya. Di ba nag-intersect po sila sa letter C na to? That's why A star B is actually letter C, and that's option B. Ay, yung katapat niya, ay grabe siya. Letter B. Okay, isa pa. Consider the Cayley table of the Klein 4 group. What is the identity element? So balikan po natin by the way ha. Kapag sinabi po nating identity element, is it A, or is it B, E? Kapag sinabi po nating identity element, kahit ano pong element ang i-operate sa kanya, the answer is the element itself. Mhm. So ano kaya? Letter A or letter B? If you answered letter B, you are actually correct again. Bakit po? Kahit anong i-operate mo kay E. Check po ha. E star E, E. A star E, A. B star E, B. C star E, C. Yan po yung concept ng identity element. In the identity element po, kahit ano pong letter o kahit anong element ang i-operate mo sa kanya, ang sagot niya is the element itself pa rin. That's why this one no, is satisfied by letter B, which is E. In fact, E is the identity element of the Klein 4 group. Ay, perfect. Yes, so that's good to know po, sir, no? Opo sa inyong lahat, no? Ay, very good. Consider the Cayley table of the Klein 4 group. What is the inverse of B? Is it A, or B, B? Check niyo po, ano pong inverse ng B? Mhm. Many answered B. And the correct answer is also B. Bakit B? Kasi for the inverse, we have to ask ourselves, no, what should be operated with B to produce the identity element? Remember, we were able to establish na sa Klein core group po natin, E is the identity element. So anong i-operate mo sa B para makaproduce ng identity element na E? Di ba? Tingnan mo si taas, di ba B pa din? That's why you could see then also that B star B is equal to E. Thus, the inverse of B is also B or itself. So tama po ang letter B. Galing. In fact, no, in the Klein-Ford group, the inverse of any element is itself. Number 30. Is the graph that of a one-to-one function? A, yes, or B, no. Ay, grabe that. Letter B daw, which is no. And if you answered no, tama po kayo. Bakit ganan? Because we have the test, we have what we call the horizontal line test. The horizontal line test, no, tells us na kapag kahit sa part ka nag-draw ng horizontal line mo, then it should for it to be one-to-one function, it should intersect the graph at most one point. Meaning, pwedeng wala siyang i-intersect sa graph or pwedeng may isang point lang siya na pwedeng i-intersect. The fact that if you draw the horizontal line here, it intersected in 1, 2, 3 points, which is more than 1, so automatic, hindi po siya one-to-one. Kung 1 or 0, one-to-one lang. Pero kapag 2 or more na po yung na-intersect ng horizontal line sa graph natin, then automatic, hindi na po siya 1-to-1, but ito na ay many-to-one. Yes po. Ito po yung many-to-one. The graph here shown is a many-to-one function. Kapag ang isang function, no, na-intersect ng graph 2 or more, automatic many-to-one function na po yan. Pero yung ina-ask po dito is one-to-one eh. So this is not one-to-one, so letter B. No. 31. Which of the following, I hope that I was able to answer your question po, Sir Jose. Yung one-to-many is hindi po function. Take note po ha, sa lahat ng function, sa lahat ng relations, I mean, meron tayong tatlong relations. One-to-one, many-to-one, at saka one-to-many. Sa kanilang tatlo, tandaan nyo po para hindi po kayo mawala, lahat ng nag-end sa one, function po. So you see, one-to-one and many-to-one are functions. Pero kapag nag-end siya sa many, hindi na po yan function, but it is just a relation. That's why one-to-many is a relation, but not a function. Now, I hope I was able to answer your question po. So, mabilisan po tayo ngayon kasi fast drills po tayo. 31. Which of the following statement is true? All functions are relations, or is it B, all relations are functions? Welcome po, Sir Jose. Okay, saan dito ang tama? And the correct answer is? Okay, grabe. May A na sagot. Meron ding B na sagot. Pero marami ang A. Is A correct? And the answer is? Tama po kayo. Tandaan po natin ha, lahat ng function ay relation. Pero hindi po lahat ng relation ay nagpa-function. Ay, char lang. Not all relations are functions. So, A is correct and B is not correct. Parang kayo lang, no? Parang relationship nyo, hindi nagpa-function. Char lang. Okay. 32. Kayo, The dot or inner product of the n vectors in R raised to n is defined by A equals this one, no? A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub n, until A sub n. and B sub 1, B sub 2, all the way until B sub n is defined by A star A dot B. This is the dot product. You multiply the first element of this vector to the second element, the second element of the first vector to the second element of the second vector, and so on. And all you have to do is add all of them. With such, find the dot product of A with 3, negative 1, 9, and B with 10, 7, and 13. Did you go for 140 or did you go for 120? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, sige po. I hope you have your calculators with you. Which of A or B ang tamang sagot? Mhm. Letter A, let's see. So from here, that's 3 times 10 plus negative 1 times 7 plus 9 times 13. That gives us 140. Letter A. Very good, everyone. Congratulations. 33. The given multiplication table represents a cyclic group. Find B squared. Is it A, B, C? Which of A and B? Which of A or B is your answer? Okay. Many of you answered B, and if you answered B, you are actually correct. D squared means D star D. And the intersection of D as a row and in the D column is C. That's why the correct answer is letter B. Letter B would be our tumpak na choice for item number 33. Hashtag Coach Mech. Galing! Tama po. 34. Which of the following is the possible order of a subgroup of a group of order 10? Is it A, 3, or is it B, 5? Grabe siya. Oh, 34, A or B? Mhm. Letter B daw? May sumagot din ng letter A? Pero karamihan sa inyo sumagot ng B, no? And the correct answer is tan 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 tan. According to Lagrange's theorem, the order of a subgroup should divide the order of the group. Ibig sabihin po nito, the order of a subgroup should be a factor of your group. We know that between 3 and 5, 5 divides 10 because 5 is a factor of 10, while 3 does not divide 10 because 3 is not a factor of 10. With such, we could say that 5 is a possible order of a subgroup of a group of order 10, whereas 3 is not because 3 is not a factor of 10. So tama po, tumpak ganun ang letter B. Ay grabe yung hula. Sana all. So tandaan po ha, the order of a subgroup should divide the order of a group. Dapat factor po siya palagi. 35. The altitudes of ACE, of triangle ACE, are drawn and they intersect at point G. What do you call point G? Is it the orthocenter or is it the incenter? Ay grabe, kinopya talaga ni Teacher Ryan. Sana all. So ano pong sagot natin sa number 35? The correct answer is the intersection of the three altitudes. It's letter A nga ba o B? Hatita ata tayo. And the correct answer is letter A. Orthocenter po is the intersection of the three altitudes ng isang triangle. Ang in-center naman po ay ang intersection ng tatlong angle bisectors ng isang triangle. So letter A po ang tamang sagot. In fact, meron po tayong centroid. Ang centroid naman po ay intersection ng tatlong medians. Okay? At saka meron po tayong circumcenter. Ang circumcenter naman po ay intersection ng tatlong perpendicular bisectors natin. Letter A. Grabe may naghugot pag babae, tama yan always sa hula-hula. Ha, joke yan eh. Grabe siya. Okay, next number. Is x equals -3 a root of 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 4x minus 3? Yes or no? Sige nga. Okay, I give you a few moments, no? Please try this. You have your calculators with you. Please use them. Is it a root or not a root? Mhm. Sa mga nag-comment, sa mga nag-comment, ang sagot po natin ay B. Hindi raw. No daw. Meron po tayong tinatawag no na remainder theorem, no? Na factor na remainder theorem, no? If we replace x by -3, kung ang sagot niya 0, meaning root po siya. Pero kapag yung sagot niya ay hindi 0, meaning it is not a root. So by replacing all x's by -3 and simplifying, so 2 times -3 cubed minus 8 times the square of -3 plus 4 times -3 minus 3, using your calculators, you will get -141 po. And since the value of the expression at x equals -3 is not 0, then -3 is not a root of 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 4x minus 3. So it has to be letter B. Galing. Ay, grabe siya. Big no daw. The intersection of sets A and B is defined by A intersection B, which is the set of all x, such that x is an element of A and x is an element of B. If A has elements A, B, C, D, E, and B has elements A, C, F, G, find A intersection B. Is it A, B, C, D, or B, A, C? Which of A or B is your answer? Grabe! Top-notcher na ata kayo, ha? You are actually correct, no? That it is letter B. Because when we say intersection, to make the long story short, kung anong elements lang po ang makikita o common sa kanilang dalawa. So makikita po natin that both of them have element na A at element na C. Kaya yung tamang sagot po ay letter B with the elements A and C. Yes, push natin to. If f of x is equal to 2x minus 3, find f of x. Did you go for 4x squared minus 12? May 12x na po ito, sorry. Or is it B? Which of the two do you think is correct? Letter B daw? When we say f of x po, f of x, yung x ng f of x ay papalitan ng kabuuang 2x minus 3. That's why we have 2 times the quantity, 2x minus 3. Di ba x ito? Pinalitan ko siya ng kanyang sarili. That's why 2 times the quantity 2x minus 3 minus 3. And by distribution, 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times -3, it's -6. You still have minus 3 here. And simplifying everything gives 4x minus 9. Letter B. Grabe, final na daw. Yes. And hoping that this will be your last board exam, no? and you will be LPTs na po. Yes, let's claim it. Next, the sun is approximately 1.44 times 10 raised to 11 meters from the Earth. If the light travels 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second, how many minutes does it take light from the sun to reach Earth? Is it A, 8 minutes, or is it B, 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. Letter A, 8 minutes. If you answered A, you are actually correct na naman po. Tumpak ka, nerd. In fact, all you have to do is encode this in your scientific calculator, no? Um, by the way, this is 10 raised to 11 po. This is 10 raised to 8. Okay? And if you divide them, you will actually get 480 seconds, which is, of course, 8 minutes. And fun fact po, no? I believe if I could still remember when I was in grade 3, nung elementary pa, it's actually like a known fact that light reaches Earth within 8 minutes. 40. Pakpak, ganern. Ay, grabe. 40. For events A and B, what do you call the formula? Probability of A union B equals the probability of A plus probability of B minus the probability of A intersection B. Is it the addition rule or is it the general rule? Okay? Many of you answered general rule. And if you did, congratulations po. Yung addition rule po is walang minus ng probability of A intersection B. Kapag meron siyang minus probability of A intersection B, that is already the general rule. Letter B. 41. Which of the following ancient number systems which used a base 60? Is it the Babylonians or is it the Egyptians? Babylonians. Mm-hmm. If you answered Babylonians, you are actually correct po. In fact, no, we have what we call the sexagesimal system. Also known as base 60 or sexagenary, is a numeral system with 60 as its base. It originated with the ancient Sumerians in the 3rd millennium BC, was passed down to the ancient Babylonians, and is still used in a modified form for measuring time angles and geographical coordinates. That's why kung makikita po ninyo yung yung isang minute, 60 seconds. 1 hour, 60 minutes. They are both divisible by 60, right? Yung circle, divide into 360 degrees. So that's, I believe, the sexagesimal system as applied still, no? As of the moment. Letter A po. Babylonians. What do you call a polynomial function of degree 2? Is it quadratic or quartic? Okay, many of you answered letter A and tumpak ka learn. Quadratic function is a polynomial function of degree 2, whereas a quartic function is of degree 4. Letter A po. 43. In 3 dimensions, where is the point located if x equals y equals z equals 0? Is it A, xz plane, or B, the origin? We're talking about 3 dimensions? Grabe. Letter A ang sagot ng madlang people, and if it's the case, mabuhay po kayo. The origin is the intersection of the 3 axes, no? In the XYZ plane. Even in the 2-dimensional space, in the 2 dimensions, no? In your Cartesian coordinate plane, it's still the origin, the point 0, 0. In the 3-dimensional plane, in the 3-dimensional space, that 0, 0, 0, yung kanilang origin. 44. He is regarded as the father of algebra. Is it A, Herodotus, or B, Al-Khwarizmi? Grabe. Pag-flash pa lang ng question, ako may sagot na agad. Grabe kayo. Letter B, Al-Khwarizmi? You are actually correct. because Herodotus is actually regarded as the father of history now. So letter B, Al-Khwarizmi. 45. He is an Italian mathematician who was famed for his algebraic solution of cubic equations, which was eventually published in Ars Magna. Is it Niccolo Tartaglia or B, Isaac Newton? Wow, Niccolo Tartaglia for the win. If you did answer that, you are correct. So he was an Italian mathematician who was famed for his algebraic solution of cubic equations, which was eventually published in Girolamo Cardano's Ars Magna. Letter A po, Niccolo Tartaglia. Which of the following is a contribution of Leonhard Euler in the field of mathematics and science? Is it A? Is he the inventor of graph theory? Or is his contribution the principle of buoyancy related to fluid? Saan po sa dalawa ang tamang sagot? A or B? You are convinced of letter A na the inventor of graph theory? May sumagot po ng B, does majority win? And the correct answer is tan 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 tan. Letter A. He is the inventor of graph theory. No? So yung concept ng edges, because this one, no, for example, the Königsberg problem, the bridges problem, the principle of buoyancy related to fluids was actually attributed to Archimedes. Letter A po. Yes, tama po. Ang galing ni teacher. Di po ako sure kung si J. Arnuco Matibay. Di po ako sure kung sir po to ma'am. Okay? So, yeah. Yon, tama po. Archimedes. How many diagonals does a pentagon have? Is it Ay, Barbie. Grabe siya. Barbie. Okay, barbecue. Okay, char lang. How many diagonals does a pentagon have? Is it A5 or B9? Grabe kaya. Letter A, 5. If you answered 5, tama po kayo ulit. Bakit? The formula for the number of diagonals, D, is actually n times n minus 3 all over 2, where D is the number of diagonals and n is the number of sides of a certain polygon. Dito, n, a pentagon has 5 sides. So by substitution, that's 5 times 5 minus 3 all over 2. 5 minus 3 becomes 2, so 2 over 2 no, becomes 1. And 5 times 1 is 5. So therefore, you could actually verify no, by drawing that indeed a convex polygon, for example, has 5 diagonals. 48. The point P with coordinates -3, -4 is on the terminal side of angle theta in the standard position. Find tangent theta. Is it 4/3 or is it B, -3/5? What do you think po? Letter A daw, 4/3? Let's see. Dahil -3, -4 siya, nandito po yan sa third quadrant, no? Which means -3 si X at saka -4 si Y. They are both negative, assign negative values kasi nga, in the third quadrant, both X and Y are negative. And with such, no, tangent, di ba, is defined as opposite over adjacent. So if this is your theta as your reference angle, so opposite is -4, and the adjacent is -3, which means -4 over -3, or simply 4/3. Letter A. Good job, everyone. Grabe. Thank you po. Letter A po. Sabi ni si Teacher Ryan, in a coordinate plane, the tangent of an angle theta in standard position is given by the ratio of the y and the x. Tama po. That's why it's just y over x pa rin. That's the shortcut. 49. She is a female mathematician who invented the astrolabe for ship navigation and devices for measuring the density of fluids. Is it Ada Lovelace or B, Hypatia? Ada Lovelace, okay. We have Ada. May sumagutin ng Hypatia. Hati po yata tayo for this question. And believe it or not, The correct answer is, it's actually letter B, Hypatia. Ada Lovelace wrote the first computer program in the world. No? So yeah, she is a computer programmer. So it's Hypatia. Si Ada, asawa ni Adan. Sana po maligaya po kayo ngayon, no? Sana, I hope na masaya po kayo ngayon. Okay, letter B, Hypatia. The first female mathematician, okay, I have to check that one po, no? But Hypatia po is a female mathematician, I think before Christ pa po siya. And I believe, no, so dati po kasi, if you are a female mathematician, naku po, mag-ingat ka. Dati, female mathematicians it's like notorious, no? Parang bawal siya dati. Kasi actually, no, for being a mathematician, pinatay siya actually. She was killed, no? Executed, or maybe she was skinned alive, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check on that. Because doong dati kasi bawal maging female mathematician, no? Pero ngayon, okay lang. Yes po. Oh, thank you po, teacher Ma'am Cutie. Nako, magka-cute po tayo. No, given na po yan. Number 15. What type of sequence is 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on? Is it arithmetic or is it geometric? And ang tamang sagot is tan 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 tan. Tama po kayo. Tandaan ha, yung arithmetic sequence merong common difference. Yung geometric sequence ay meron namang common ratio. So here, it's actually arithmetic po. Bakit? Yung if you subtract the second by the first, 3 minus 1, 2. 5 minus 3, 2. 7 minus 5, 2. 9 minus 7, 2. So we have a common difference here. Letter A. Yes, tama po. 51. A false statement implying a true statement is a statement that is blank in general. Is it false or is it true? True false implies true. Is it true or is it false? Ibig sabihin po nito, ang yung tawag natin dito, yung iyong premise ay mali. Pero tama ang iyong conclusion. Is this implication statement true or false as a whole? And ang tamang sagot ay tan 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 tan, letter B. True po yan. Tandaan po natin. You only have an implication statement that is false if true implies false. Again po ha, true implies false is false. Pero ang true implies true, ang false implies true, at saka false implies false are all true actually. So letter B po ang tamang sagot. True na magka-natural na yes, false. Push po natin yan, no? Yes. So tandaan po natin, among the 4 possibilities, true implies false lang po ang false. The rest, true na po yan. It does, no. Be careful po, teacher Matibay. False, true implies false lang yung false. Be careful po. Kapag merong isang true, maybe what you meant, ma'am, is disjunction po, or. Kapag at meron kang isang true, kahit gaano pa karami ang false, true pa rin po yan. Be careful ha, disjunction po yung tinutukoy mo probably po. Be careful. 52. When is a biconditional or an if and only if statement true? Is it A, both hypothesis and conclusion are true? B, hypothesis is true and conclusion is false? Saan sa dalawa ang tama? Letter A daw? May sumagot naman ng letter B? Okay, pero marami po atang sumagot ng A. Again ha, tandaan po natin that a biconditional is true if, in this case, both hypothesis and conclusion are true. Tandaan po natin ito ha. meron pong dalawang, if you have a conditional or an implication statement na P implies Q, if both premise and conclusion have the same truth value, then the value of the biconditional statement is true. Meaning, true yung first statement at saka yung second statement true. Or kapag false yung first statement at saka ay yung premise mo ay yung isang statement false, yung isa false din, true din po yan. So again, it's either true, true, or false, false kapag magkapareho po ang truth value. Therefore, true po yan. So it's either both hypothesis and conclusion are true, or both hypothesis and conclusion are false, then the biconditional statement is true. Pero kapag yung isa ay iba yung truth value niya sa isa pa, automatic yung biconditional statement mo ay false. True false or false true, yung biconditional niyan ay false po palagi. Pag both false po, true din po yan. Tandaan ha, kapag both false, true din po yung kanilang biconditional. It's either both true or both false, they will give you a truth value ng biconditional. Pero kapag magkaiba po sila, automatic false na po yung biconditional na yan. I hope na clear po sa atin. Which of the following is the converse of P implies Q? Is it A, Q implies P, or B, not P implies not Q? A or B? Ano po sa palagay nyo, mga kababayan? All right. Okay, letter B. Or letter A. Let's see. And the tamang sagot ay ton 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 ton. Tama po, letter A. Kapag sinabi po nating converse, 'di ba, in the statement P, in this implication statement P implies Q, kapag sinabi po nating converse, babaliktarin mo lang po sila. So you see po dito, yung conclusion dito ay naging premise at saka yung premise dito naging conclusion na. Yung letter B naman po ay tinatawag nating inverse ng ating statement. So tama po si Sir Jose. Yung inverse naman po ay nagaganap kapag kinuha mo yung negation ng bawat isa sa kanila at saka you do the implication. Yeah. Number next. Which is true? All squares are rhombuses. Or is it B? All rhombuses are squares. And ang tamang sagot po natin ay ang tamang sagot ay letter A. Tandaan po natin, lahat ng square rhombus po. Pero hindi po lahat ng rhombus ay square. Careful po ha. Okay, thank you. Huwag po kayong mahiyang magtanong ha kung may question po. 55. What's the formula for the circumference of a circle? Is it A, 2 pi r, or B, pi r squared? Bilis ha. Letter A. If you answered letter A, I am actually very proud of you because ang pi r squared po ay formula para sa area ng circle. So letter A. 56. What's the formula for the area of a rhombus? Is it A, BH, or B, S squared? So saan po dito yung mas ginagamit na formula for the area of a rhombus? It is letter A, base times height po. In fact, no, the square, ginagamit po natin dyan is S squared usually. Pero hindi po safe na gamitin ang S squared sa rhombus kasi may times na kapag wala pong right angle na interior angle ang rhombus, mas mainam po gamitin, mas mabuting gamitin si base times height. Okay? 57. Yes po. Tama po. Yung area ng square po yan, no? Sir Raymond. Thank you. What's the sum of the interior angles in degrees of a pentagon? Is it A, 540, or is it B, 720? Letter A daw, 540. And if you did, let's see kung tama. The sum of the interior angles of any convex polygon is 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. Since a pentagon has 5 sides, so replacing n by 5, no? We'll get 180 degrees times 5 minus 2. The 5 minus 2 simplifies to 3, and that gives you 540 degrees. And that's letter A. Okay? Next. What angle is equal to its supplement? You say 90 degrees. And if you answered 90 degrees, tandaan po natin that when we say supplementary, ang sum po ng angles ay 180 degrees. So dahil equal po sila, so 180 degrees divided by 2 gives us 90 degrees. So that's letter B. Each angle is 90 degrees. Okay? Take note po kung complementary, sum nila 90. Kung supplementary, sum nila 180. Okay po. 59. What is the volume of a sphere whose radius is r greater than 0? Is it A, V equals 4/3 pi r cubed? Or is it B, 3/4 pi r cubed? Letter A nga ba? 4/3 or 3/4? And the correct answer is letter A, 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay? So take note po ha, nasa taas po ang 4, nasa baba po ang 3. Letter A. 60. What is the lateral area of a cube whose edge measures s units? Is it A, 4s squared? Or is it B, 6s squared? Which is which? Letter A ba o B? Okay, to those who answered letter B, I'm sorry, but the correct answer is letter A, 4s squared. Bakit? Ang 6s squared po na formula, that is actually the formula of the surface area of the cube. Kapag sinabi po nating lateral area, it is the area of all of the surfaces except for the bases. So sinasubtract po natin ang area ng dalawang squares, kaya 4s squared lang po. So careful po ha, lateral area 4s squared kasi minus yung 2 bases. Yung 6s squared is surface naman po yan. 61. What do you call the amount of matter inside a space figure? Yes po, bawi lang po. Is it surface area or is it B, volume? Which is correct? Volume? And if you answered volume, you are actually correct. When we speak about volume, it's the amount of matter na pwedeng ilagay sa loob ng isang space figure. Yung surface area naman po, it's just the sum of all the areas of the surfaces. Surface area is in terms of square units, samantalang yung volume ay in terms naman po of cubic units. 62. The parabola y equals x squared plus 3x opens. Is it A, upward, or B, downward? Okay, may sumagot ng upward. If you answered upward, you are actually correct. Since the leading coefficient po natin is positive, no, in the standard form, then therefore it's opening upward. Ito po yung leading coefficient. Kung ano man, iba yung numerical coefficient ni x squared dito, positive. So kung positive po yan, nag-open po yan upward. Pero kapag negative po, yung leading coefficient dito, downward po yung opening niya. So letter A, kasi positive ang leading coefficient natin. 63, good job. What's the slope of the line y equals 3x minus 4? Is it A, -4, or is it B, 3? Okay, 3 daw. Ang sabi naman ng people, naku, A or B lang po. 3 po yung nilagay mo. Okay, ang tamang sagot ay letter B, 3. Kasi in the slope-intercept form, no, y equals mx plus b, kung ano po yung numerical coefficient ng x, yun po automatic yung ating slope. So yung slope natin is 3 and the y-intercept is -4. Letter B. 64. Nako, remember po ha, this is fast drill, so mabilisan po tayo dito. The graph of the line y equals 3x minus 5 blank to the right. Is it A, rises, or is it B, falls? Okay, take note po ha. This is already in slope-intercept form. Does it rise or does it fall? And the correct answer is, grabe, daming sumagot ng A. Kung sumagot ka ng A, let's claim it. Naku, top notcher or passer na po kayo. Hopefully, you are actually correct. Tandaan po natin, yung slope natin dito ay positive 3. And if the slope is positive, the graph of it's a line that rises to the right. But if the slope is negative, no, then its graph is a line that falls to the right. At least na-fall ka sa tamang tao. Charla. So letter A po ang tamang sagot. 65. It is the set of all points equidistant from a point called center. Letter B nga ba? Circle o ellipse? Kung sumagot kayo ng circle, you are actually correct. No? Kapag sinabi naman po natin ellipse, it is the set of all points whose sum of distances from the two different points is constant po. No? Yan po yung definition ng ating ellipse. Next. Good job. So 65 po is circle. Bilog lang po yan. If x is an acute angle of a right triangle, which of the following is sine x? Is it A, opposite over hypotenuse? Or is it B, adjacent over hypotenuse? 66 is letter A. Do you agree? Okay, if you answered A, you are actually correct. Because SOHCAHTOA, no? So, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, whereas yung adjacent over hypotenuse ka, it's cosine po. It's cosine x here. Letter A. Very good. 67. What is 9 raised to 0? Is it A1 or B0? Okay, letter A. And if you answered letter A na 1, maybe you are the one for me. Ha? Ano daw? The correct answer is 1 po. Tandaan natin, any non-zero number raised to 0, any non-zero real number raised to 0 is equal to 1. Very good. Uy, grabe siya. 68. This is the center of a circle with equation x minus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 9. Is the center 3 -1? Or is it B -3, 1? Which is which? Your answer is A. And if you answered A di wow, tama po kayo. So yung technique po natin is, kung minus dito sa loob, baliktarin mo lang yung sign niya. Plus, ito plus, dito, lagay mo minus na lang. Because actually po, no, you are equating each of these inside, no? What's inside into 0. That's why x minus 3 equals 0 means x is 3. That's your h, or the abscissa of your center. Y plus 1 equals 0 implies that y, the ordinate of your center is -1. So letter A po. Or to make the long story short, baliktarin mo na lang yung sign. 69. This is the longest chord of a circle. Is it A, the diameter, or B, the radius? You answered diameter? Sure? If you answered diameter, tama po kayo. When in the first place po, tandaan po natin ha, a radius is not a chord. When we say chord, it is a line segment whose endpoints are any two distinct points of a circle. So diameter po is the longest po. Galing. The y-intercept of x plus 2y equals 8. Is it A, 4 or B, 8? Y-intercept. Letter A or mayroon din sumagot ng B? A nga ba o B? We'll see. Take note, since we are asking for the y-intercept, we have to, it's a portion no, of the graph where the graph crosses the y-axis. And in the y-axis, the value of x is 0. That's why by letting x equal 0, so 0 plus 2y equals 8. And if you have 2y equals 8 and dividing both sides by 2, you get y equals 4. So ang ating y-intercept po are letter A, which is 4. Magaling. 71. The approximate value of E, is it A, 2.71828 or B, 3.14159? Grabe, letter A pa din? Sure kayo? How sure are you? Paki-comment nga. How sure are you na letter A? Okay, 100% daw. If you answered letter A, nako, ikaw na, the best ka. I agree, no, that B is the approximate value of pi in 5 decimal places. 72. The domain of linear functions is it A, the set of real numbers, or B, natural numbers? The domain of linear functions, it is? Very good. It's a set of real numbers. But be careful po ha. The domain of a linear function is the set of real. In fact, the domain of any polynomial function is the set of real numbers. But if we are talking about sequence, like arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence, its domain is a set of natural numbers po. So careful lang. 73. Okay, this is x. The colon is again read as such as. Such that, I mean. Di ba sa ibang books, parang vertical bar yan. Pero yung colon is still the same as such that. This is the set of all x such that x is an element of A or x is an element of B. Is it A union B, or B, A intersection B? Grabe. Letter A, if you answered letter A, tama po kayo. Or is actually union. No? Yung N, yan po yung ating intersection. So careful lang. Letter A po. Galing nyo. Nako, may top notcher na naman ata tayo hopefully. 74. What law can be used to determine the length of AB in this figure? Tingnan nyo po yung figure sa right. Is it A, the law of sines? Or B, the law of cosines? Grabe kayo ha. Makuha kayo sa tingin. Your answer is law of cosines. If you answered law of cosines, you are actually correct. Meron lang pong dalawang cases kung saan pwede natin gamitin ang law of cosines. It's either you have SSS or that you are given the three sides of a triangle, or you are given sus. Like this, side, angle, side. So, tama po ang law of cosines. Pero kung wala siya sa SSS or SAS, most likely law of sines po yan. Or it could be law of sines. 75. The ratio of sine theta and cosine theta is equivalent to, is it A, tangent theta, or B, cotangent theta? Saan ang tama? Your answer is letter A, tangent theta? Tama po kayo ulit. Sine over cosine is tangent. Cosine over sine is cotangent. So it's letter A again po. Bilis But kung nakuha nyo, good. But if not, it's still good. It's still okay, no? It's still a learning experience para sa ating lahat. Next. If cosine A equals 2/5, what is secant A? Did you go for 5/2? Did you go for 5/3? Cosine A, what is secant A? Letter A, 5/2. Nako, sure kayo? If you answered 5/2, you should be happy because you are correct. Tandaan po natin that and cosine A and secant A are actually reciprocals of each other po. That's why when cosine A is 2/5, its reciprocal is secant A, which is 5/2. Good job. Galing. I hope na nakuha po natin. 77. Which of the following is equal to cosine squared x minus sine squared x? Did you go for cosine 2x? Or did you go for sine 2x? Cosine 2x? Sure kayo? If you answered cosine 2x, nako, tama po kayo. In fact, no, meron po tayong dalawa pa for cosine. For cosine 2x, we could also have 2 cosine squared x minus 1. You could also have 1 minus 2 sine squared x for cosine 2x. But the value of sine 2x is 2 sine x cosine x po. So again, letter A ang tamang sagot. You can search on laptop. 78. A type of quantitative variable that is a result of counting is called, is it discrete or is it continuous? Counting. Binibilang. Your answer is letter A, discrete. And if you did, tama po kayo ulit. Kapag sinabi po nating discrete, ibig sabihin po nito, when we say discrete, no, it is a quantitative variable whose value is obtained by counting process. Halimbawa, how many chairs are there? There are 10 chairs, so you count them, no? That's discrete. But when we say continuous naman po is a quantitative variable whose value is obtained by measuring. Halimbawa, you gathered quantitative data by measuring, let's say, your temperature, or let's say the height or weight of a person. So, letter A, discrete. Kapag binibilang o kinakount, discrete. Pag minimeasure o sinusukat, that's continuous na po. In discrete variable, you get a whole number. For continuous variable, it's possible na yung makuha mong number ay hindi whole number. 79. What does a probability of 0 mean? Is it A, certainty, or B, will not happen? Probability of 0. Okay, letter B. If you answered letter B, you are actually correct. Certainty has a probability of 1. And a probability of 0 tells you or tells us na hindi mangyayari ang isang bagay. Halimbawa, yung probability na maging kayo. Char lang, biro lang po. No? So letter B will not happen. Which has more sides? A heptagon or an octagon? Grabe kayo. Which has more sides? Letter B, octagon daw. And if you answered octagon, nako, tama po kayo again. Because a heptagon has 7 sides, whereas an octagon has 8 sides po. Letter B. Push po natin. 81. What is the product of all real numbers? Is it A, 0, or is it B, infinite? What do you think? Ano ang product ng lahat ng real numbers? Is it A, 0, or B, infinity? Okay, may sumagot po ng, marami po sa inyo ang sumagot ng infinity. And if you answered infinity, I'm sorry, mali po kayo. Ang tamang, it's okay po, it's still a learning experience naman. It's actually 0. Bakit po? Remember that 0 is also a real number. And any number, no matter how large or that number is, when multiplied to 0, will always be 0. That's why, siguro, yung sa mga sumagot ng B, no, na infinity, baka in-assume nyo na napakaraming numbers. But the fact that zero is one of these real numbers at isasama siya sa kanilang lahat, zero pa rin po talaga ang tamang sagot. So sa lahat ng sumagot ng A di wow. If you answered B, it's still okay, no? We are all learning in the process po. 82. What do you call a line that is perpendicular to the tangent line at the point of tangency? Is it A, normal, or is it B, incremental? Letter A, normal? Kung normal pa ba kayo? And the correct answer is yes. It is actually the normal line. It is the line that goes to the point, say XY, and is perpendicular to the tangent line, no? Ng yung curve. So normal line po yan. And the slope of the normal line is the negative reciprocal of the slope of the non-zero slope of your tangent line. The tangent line and normal line are perpendicular po. Okay, 83. What is the antiderivative of a constant A? Is it AX plus C or is it B, 0? Antiderivative. 82 or 83 na po tayo, no? 83A. Okay. If you answered letter A again, naku, napakapalad po ninyo. Tama na naman po kayo ulit. Because assuming na yung variable natin is C, no? So it's AX plus C, where C here is an arbitrary constant. Yung 0 naman po ay derivative po yan ng ating constant. In fact, the derivative of any non-zero constant is 0 po. 84. Which of the following is most likely least appealing to students who learn how to add integers? Is it A, lecture, or B, discovered? Least appealing to students. Okay? Because we're living right now in the 21st century, no? Lecture right now is least appealing or it's less appealing. Because right now, no? Usually, in the lecture method, if it is teacher dominated, so the students are not, it's not really, it's appealing to them probably, but it's not, but discovery is more appealing to them considering that they are actively part of the learning process. So, letter A po, lecture is less appealing. Tamad makinig po, Char. Ha? Yes, parang kayo, Char lang. Biro lang po. Plastic mode activated, hashtag coach na. Ay, grabe siya. Passive ang learners pag lecture. Yeah, if it's purely lecture na walang interaction talaga, and kapag sabing boring daw yung teacher, siguro, no, I'm not saying po na lecture is not effective, ha? But what we are also saying is, the more senses or the more active students are in learning, it would be more appealing to them in general. 85. Which of the following is important when you are able to determine that students do not pay attention in class? Is it A, scold them, or B, motivate them? Letter? Of course, no? So, meron din po tayong child policy ngayon. So, bawal nang mag-scold na, especially physical. So, the best way is to motivate them, of course, on how probably we could help them learn, no? On how we could get their attention in class. 86. Which of the following tools is great in teaching transformations of graphs of quadratic functions? Is it A, GeoGebra, or B, Microsoft Excel? Ay, grabe dad. For 85, for 86, ano pong sagot natin? Letter A, GeoGebra. Nakagamit na po kayo nito? If you answer GeoGebra, nako po, dapat masaya kayo. Kasi in GeoGebra, no, so may geometry na, may algebra pa. And of course, no, what's good is that if you enter the function or the relations, the GeoGebra could also graph them to you. And also you could use, no, the children or the learners could see the transformations using some of the best features, no, of this tool. Yung Microsoft Excel naman po is more of spreadsheet siya. So it's letter A. All right. 87. You found out that students like working on manipulatives. Which of the following activities will help them learn the volume of a cone? Is it A, research about the formula, or B, let them perform experiments with actual models? Okay, letter B daw, and B is also correct. Because the premise here, no, sabi dito, you know that they are like working on manipulative, so they are more on tactile, they are more on discovery. So why not let them discover, no, using actual models? Because in this case, if you have a cone and a cylinder that both have the same circular radius and height, they will actually learn, no, na kapag pinuno mo ng tubig ang cone, at it will take you 3 scoops ng tubig upang mapuno ang cylinder. In this way, they will be able to realize that the volume of a cylinder is actually 1/3. Sorry, the volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of the cylinder. Or the volume of the cylinder is 3 times the volume of a cone. 88. Yes, tama po. Student-centered approach po ang peg natin for today's video. Yes. Which of the following softwares below is best for statistical analysis? A, GeoGebra, or B, SPSS? Okay, so many of you answered SPSS. SPSS is actually correct. Believe it or not, GeoGebra is also capable of doing some statistical analysis, but SPSS is designed more, no, for statistics. So letter B po. Yes. So in my case, no, in our case also, we use SPSS for mula undergrad hanggang PhD. Until masters, no, even in our PhD as well. 89. By the way, SPSS stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. Ay, siya yung leader sa research. Sana all ni leader sa research. 89. You would like your students to understand the trend of sales of the school canteen. Which of the following graphs is best to use? Is it A, line graph, or B, pie graph? Saan sa dalawa? Ang dapat mainam na gamitin. Trend. Letter A, line graph. If you answered line graph, edi wow, tama po kayo. So yung line, when we say trend, no, like ano nga ba? Pataas ba? Pababa? Ma-increase ba? O wala? Halimbawa, yung sales mo ng January, February, March, April, June, and so on. Gusto mong malaman kung pataas ba o pababa yung sales ng team, no? So line graph po ang maina gamitin. Yung pie graph naman po o yung circle graph natin, it's better to use them for, let's say, if you wish to determine, no, to compare, no, yung sizes nila of one group to the other, for example. 90. Mr. Pedros utilized the following image for his math class. What is he most likely trying to model here? Is it A, x plus 3 equals 7? Or D, 3x equals 7? Saan po sa dalawa ang tama? Okay? Your answer is B. 3x plus 7 equals 7. Nako, tama nga kaya ang 3x equals 7 o yung x plus 3 equals 7. And ang tamang sagot po ay letter A. X plus 3 equals 7 po. Tandaan po natin ha, equal po yung bigat, yung timbang. This is timbang. And when we speak about timbang o bigat, kapag equal sila, the sum of all the weights here is equal also to the sum of all the weights here. That's why ang sum ng weights sa left side is x plus 3. At saka yung sum naman sa left side is 7. Okay? That's why be careful po ha. It's letter A. X plus 3 equals 7. Nagpabudol sa magkatabi si 3 at si X. Ganyan talaga yung buhay. Minsan alam mong mali kung nagpapabudol ka pa rin. Charla. Grabe kayo. 91. Based on the image, how many squares should the question mark be for students to get the correct answer? Is it A, 2, or B, 6? Okay. Tumaba o 6? 6? Okay, let's see Tingnan niyo po ito. Naging 3. So 1, naging 3. Nag-times 3 ka dito. So 2 times 3. So bawat bilog, dalawang square. Which means, dalawa, dalawa, dalawa. It means 6 po lahat. So letter B ang tamang sagot. It should be 6 squares. Very good. 92. Which of the following concepts should be used to make students realize that mathematics is also applicable to other areas of knowledge or discipline? Is it A, contextualization, or B, integration? Prof. Ed po tayo for today's video. Integration? Tama nga ba ang integration, madlang people? And you are actually correct now. So when we speak about contextualization, it is making the lesson or topic, say, related to the life, no? Or closer to the lives of the learners by relating it to their experiences, for example. But when we speak about integration, we are trying to include or to apply it to other areas or disciplines. Na yung math ay hindi lang pala math. Ang math na to, pwede rin gamitin sa science, sa, let's say, sa MAPE, o sa ibang subjects pa ninyo. 93, you found out that the distribution of scores in addition of fractions is negatively skewed. What is the best thing to do? Is it A, proceed to the next lesson, or B, reteach the topic? Negatively skewed ang distribution ng scores. Okay, proceed to the next lesson. Sure kayo. Nako, if you answered letter A, nako, kabahan kayo. Joke lang. Tama po kayo. When we say negatively skewed, majority of the scores are somehow higher. It means the mode, many got high scores. And it's an indication perhaps that many students mastered the topic or the lesson, so you have to proceed to the next lesson. Letter A. Deserve mo yan, ma'am. Charla. This may teacher matibay. Nako. Number 4, teacher Zen made her test considerably longer. Generally, the longer the test, the higher is its A, interpretability or reliability. The longer the test, the higher is its letter. Tan, 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 tan. Letter A or B? It's B, reliability. Take note po ha. So the more items that you have, the more reliable that test becomes. General, as long as it is of considerable length po. Be careful. So the more reliable it is. Tandaan po natin yan. That's why, kapag isang item na yung binigay mo tapos nagkamali siya, nako, patay. Pero kapag you have more items to measure certain competencies, and if they would get high, or let's say, more or less reliable yung mga items, perhaps. Ay, grabe. So far, yung math majorship natin is 120 items lang po. No? 95. Item number 7 got a difficulty index of 0.01. What does it imply? Is it about item number 7? Is it A, very easy, or B, very difficult? Very easy or very difficult? Kapag yung difficulty index ay 0.01. Letter? Ay, tama po kayo. Very difficult. In general, the difficulty index closer to 1 implies that the test becomes easier, and the closer it is to zero implies that the test is difficult or very difficult. 96. Higher scores in test A are associated with high test scores in test B. There is blunt correlation between the two tests. Is it A negative or B positive? Negative or positive? And the correct answer is, naku, top notcher na kayo. Letter B, positive correlation. If they go together in the same direction, high, high, low, low, that's positive correlation. But if one is higher, the other one is lower, or vice versa, then negative correlation po yan sila. Okay? Ang positive correlation goes the same direction, both high-high or low-low, but negative, baliktad. 97. Why is it important for a teacher to make a table of specifications? A, to make sure that the test items was in accordance to what was discovered. B, to make sure that the test is reliable. TOS, bakit kaya? The correct answer is, nako, galing po. TOS is more of validity, okay? To make sure that the test items are in accordance to what was covered. It is a way for you to check, no, kung anong items or kung anong competencies ba ang dapat bigyan ng maraming items based on, say, the number of days na tinuro mo. The longer you teach a certain topic, the more items should be placed to measure it. But if a certain competency was done in a shorter amount of time or period of time, so the fewer items in dapat for that competency. 98. To determine what the samples for her study, teacher Mia made use of draw lots. What sampling technique is she employing? Is it A, simple random, or B, convenience? Letter A na naman, ang madlang people. And if you answered A, congratulations. So simple random sampling, no? You could have your lottery method, your drawing of lots. You could also use a table of random numbers. Yung convenience sampling naman po, you usually, who is nearer to the researcher, is someone who is picked to be part of the sample, or someone who is readily available and near to the researcher po. Galing, 99. Teacher Angelica made use of information found in math books for her class. Data found from such sources is an example of blank data. Is it primary or is it secondary? Data found in math books. Your answer is primary or secondary? Maraming sumagot ng secondary. And if you answered secondary, tama po ulit kayo. When we say secondary data, no, these data are often found in other people's work. For example, in thesis nila, yung mga data na makukuha natin sa mga books, sa mga journals ng ibang researchers or ng ibang people, that's secondary data. Primary data is unpublished data that is usually collected, no, by the researcher firsthand. So sa primary data, ikaw talaga mismo ang kumalat niyan ng data. Ang secondary data, parang kinopya mo lang sa iba o kinuha mo sa iba. And 100, consider a score to be part of a normal distribution. A negative z-score indicates that an individual score is it A, less than the mean, or B, greater than the mean? And the correct answer is negative z-score. The score of an individual is negative z-score is, sure kayo? Ang tamang sagot ay letter A po, less than the mean. The formula for z-score is individual score minus the mean all over the standard deviation. A negative z-score indicates that a certain score or number or data or datum is below the mean. A positive z-score indicates that a certain score or datum is above the mean, and a z-score of 0 indicates that a certain score is equal to the mean. So be careful po ha. So letter A. And that concludes our fast drills for tonight. Thank you very much and have a great day to one and all.